It's your girl, and she's back at Angels with Scaly Wings. And this is actually the third time I've had to go recording the date with Anna, because, again, they're just like, things aren't recording, things aren't doing a proper thing, and then other things are breaking, so I'm very tired. But yay, date with Anna. And just on time. Now, where is she? Hello? What's this? Looks like a message. Something came up at the last second. Wait for me, it shouldn't be too long. Anna. I guess at the last second is meant in the literal sense here. Or else she could have just called me. Guess we're playing the waiting game then. Okay, it's been like an hour and my patience is slowly but surely running out. I'm gonna wait. I've already waited this long, I guess I can wait a little bit longer. I'm not sure who the world record holder for most patient person is, but now I feel like a contender. Still no sign of it though. I'm just gonna wait. If she doesn't show up soon, I'm done. There you are! Where have you been all this time? Reading comprehension must not be your strong suit, because my note clearly said I'd be back soon. Note to self. The word soon now refers to a time span of over 2 hours when waiting for a scheduled appointment. Has it really been that long? It certainly didn't feel like it.
My records indicate you've already experienced the scene in a satisfactory manner. Would you like to skip to the end? As you wish.
Alright, sorry for making you wait. Losing track of time happens to the best of us. It happens to me all the time. I guess we missed our movie. Can't we just see the late screening or something? That was the late screening. The theater's is closed now. Maybe we should reschedule. That won't work, at least not for me. Today was the only day I could leave early. I won't have another chance anytime soon. So, what do we do now? Maybe the coffee place is still open, I don't know. I guess that's better than nothing. Closed as well. That's just peachy. Why do you keep working so late anyway? Because what I'm doing is important. You're doing cancer research, right? And who told you that? Damien, I stopped by your lab some time ago, but you weren't there. That shard-born bastard! What else did he tell you about me? Nothing much. The whole thing wasn't really about you anyway. I see. Sounds like you two don't get along that well. That's the understatement of the century. Being trapped in a small room with the likes of him for hours on end every day is a scenario born of a sick mind with the intention of making me suffer as much as possible. It certainly doesn't make my research any easier. The stress probably doesn't help you either. It's not worth jeopardizing your health over. Don't overwork yourself. You can't save anyone if you're dead, and that is still hot. If I don't find a cure, no one else will. No one else can. Had to be me. Someone else. Anyone else would have gotten it wrong. Besides, I was only late today because I got your stupid blood work ready. You have the test results? Yeah, want to know what I have to say about them? Definitely. Okay, how much do you know about genetics? I know about Punnett squares, and I know that apparently gingers are going extinct, but that's about it, so... Usually there's more water and mud than this. Not bad. It's the first time I've tried chamomile and spearmint. It's not bad. Probably should have left the bag in a little bit longer. I tried honey and ginger last night and it was fucking awful. But then I had the tea bag in the entire time I was drinking it and it tasted like it was just... It's just like, I don't know if you guys have, like, in Australia we have, like, lemsip drinks that are, like, lemon and honey that, like, aren't literally lemon and honey, they're, like, a powder, and they just taste like right fucking shit, but they work well. It kind of tasted like that. Don't worry, I'll put into words words that are easy for you to understand. To start off, I found out that on average, about 90% of your genes are homologous to our species genes. That may seem like a lot, but to put it into perspective, about 50% of your DNA is also shared with fruit. To further elaborate, you and your human neighbour back home are probably around 99.9% genetically similar. If you compared the various sentient species we have here to each other, they would only be around 95 to 97% similar. As for what exactly all of this tells us, although a match of 90% sounds like a lot, it's not as much as you might think. Still, for two beings from a different world altogether, that's quite remarkable. Beyond DNA, the biggest similarity between us is within the brain structure. That's not surprising considering our high-level cognitive abilities. That'll surprise Maverick. What do you mean? He doesn't seem to like humans very much. I'm sure he'll be displeased to know how similar we are. And he doesn't like anyone, really. He's just like me in that way. Yeah, you two would make a great couple. You're a little late for that. I'm already his ex-girlfriend. Really? How did that go? Not how you might think. It actually went pretty well, for a while at least. But in the end, we both got too absorbed into our jobs until we realised that we have drifted apart too much, and we agreed it would be better if we just broke up. I still respect him for the work he does. I mean, we even used to solve crime together. I'd be in the lab running tests, and he'd be out in the field chasing after the perps. Those were good times. I guess nowadays he just chases after me. What? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but if you know him, maybe you can help me out. I certainly can't help you if you don't tell me what's going on. Okay, but this is just between us, alright? Sure, whatever. Maverick is convinced that I'm the accomplice of the crime. He made a point to tell me that he's searching for proof to legally arrest me, or worse. Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. Really? It's nothing. He can't find any proof that doesn't exist. Still, it doesn't feel nice to be threatened and stalked, especially by someone like him. That's just him. He gets way into it once he sets his sights on something. But that's not my business. Except I think I'm supposed to be drinking Lipton's when this was Twinings. I'm usually more of a deadly girl. I noticed. It's his job. What do you expect? I just wish he'd leave me the fuck alone. He wasn't always like this, you know. A couple of years ago, he was signed to this one case. He was still relatively new on the force, young and eager to help. Then reality came crashing down on him. There was this serial killer who shook up the whole town. The victims were apparently eaten. We later found out that the killer's actions were the result of a degenerative disease which brought his feral nature to the foreground. At that point, he was just a wild animal, turned into a cannibal that hunted under the shadow of night. Everyone in town was up in arms, terrified that they'd be next. The police did everything they could. A curfew was instated and patrols guarded the streets at night. And then they found him munching on his fifth victim. Poor little Maverick was not prepared for what he would find. Stand back, Maverick. I'll handle this. Miles? It was his brother. Step away from the body, Miles. Miles couldn't comprehend their words, and only saw rivals who wanted to take away his prey, and he wasn't just about to let go without a fight. Miles raised his head from his kill, blood dripping from his maw. The officer's breaths were smothered by the deathly stillness of the night. Fangs bared, the feral dragon snarled and stood strong in front of his meal, prepared to protect it from the two who intruded upon his territory. Whatever this is, Miles, it's over. Don't make it worse now. Oh no! In an instant, Miles was upon Bryce. They clashed in a flurry of teeth and claws. Well, that explains the whole, the scars on Bryce's neck. Miles had the advantage with his small frame and quick movements, and Bryce could not get a clear hit in. It all happened so fast that Maverick didn't know what to do. They rolled on the ground and Bryce ended up on his back, as helpless as a turtle. Miles pinned him and clamped his jaws on his neck. Bryce's claws were the only thing preventing Miles from biting down, and they were slipping, slick with blood and quivering with fatigue as he tried to push him off. For a brief moment, Bryce thought he'd meet his end, when their jaws suddenly relaxed, and he was able to dislodge them. When he looked up, he saw that Maverick had managed to get Miles from behind. He bit through his brother's neck from above. And... oh, horrible squelch noise. Blood flowed down Maverick's jaws and over Miles' lifeless body. Bryce has been saved, but the young dragon wore a wide-eyed, empty stare. Maverick blamed himself for not taking better care of his brother. He knew Miles had problems and was taking medication for it, but he wished he could have done more to help him. The medication wasn't the right one, by the way. Maverick takes solace in the fact that he was able to save Bryce, but he's never been the same since that incident. Now he scrutinizes everyone and everything. I'm not sure how that's supposed to help me. It doesn't, but now you know why he is how he is. It's not unusual. It's not unusual for him to act like this. It's not unusual to just have to wait it out. I ruined it. To just have to wait it out. Anyway, let's head back to your test results. Since you were so interested, did you want a copy of them? Yeah, I'd appreciate that. No problem. I heard you also wanted Razor's blood. Of course, I invited him over too, but that was before you arrived here. And I thought what we had was special. Oh, it is. Razor was too stuck up to agree to anything. He wouldn't even participate in an exhilarating round of trivia board games. Not even that, can you believe it? I can almost see the sarcasm dripping from your mouth. Still, it's kind of a shame. It would have been interesting to compare your blood to his. What a shame indeed. Let's just enjoy our romantic date in the back alley of the coffee shop. Of course. Unless you want to take us someplace else? What, you don't like hanging around dirty back alleys? Actually, I do. Now that's the spirit. I'm getting kind of hungry. I figured we'd be having a meal on our date. What, can't you go a few hours without having to stuff your face? Well, no. I mean, have you seen me? Have you seen me? Have you seen my persona? Food's fucking great. So, eat my ass. I could offer you a handful of dirt if that's to your taste, Molly. I already have my own dirt. Oh, really? What kind of dirt would that be? Only the finest, governmentally funded dirt from Tatsu Park. Your filthy back alley stuff has nothing on this. You win this round. Either way, the side dish should be nice. I know there's one place that never closes. Let's go there. Sure. I think I actually like this one. I mean this tea, not this game or this date, because I like those too, but... After several minutes of walking, Anna led me to the outskirts of town. We arrived at a farmhouse. On one side, fields stretched towards the horizon, and on the other were lush green hills with fenced populations of animals. And the background is just fucking gorgeous. Again, I don't know if this is a combination of, like, three-dimensional rendering with, like, some 2D paints done up in Photoshop, but it's fucking gorgeous. Like, it does kind of look like it's low poly, low texture stuff. Like, you know, not the greatest, but it looks super stylized, and I would love, like, a three-dimensional adventure game of this. Except, you know, I don't think that would work well, because it's a date sim. Unless... What kind of restaurant is this supposed to be? Self-serve. You're a bad girl, Anna. I know. How well can you hunt? Let's see. Even if I knew how, it's not like I have any equipment in here. And on top of that, I'm lazy, I'm overweight, I'm unfit, and I really don't like engaging in high physical activity things that probably aren't paying Pokemon Go. I mean, this kind of all links back into the whole stuffing my face all the time thing. And I want to stretch my arms out to be all like, well, excuse me, but there's, like, I can stretch that arm out, but then when I want to stretch this one out, there's a blind. I should really stop doing that, I might break it. equipment? What a city! You've got hands and teeth. What more do you need? A long-range weapon, maybe? Like fire? I suppose even you could make use of that. Alright, since I'm apparently the only one capable of acquiring food, I'll be right back. Anna walked over to a fenced enclosure of animals that reminded me of sheep. She crouched and squeezed herself through the bars, after which I lost sight of her. Waiting game 2.0 start. It took only a couple of minutes for her to return, dragging one of the animals behind her with her now bloody jaws and hands. Ah! So glad I put the content warning up, because that's the... Dinner's ready? What kind of animal is this? It's called a mouflon. Anyway, do you have a part you'd prefer? See how nice I am? I'm even letting you choose first. Let's see, I don't like seeing things dismembered, or gore, or anything like that, so I'd say I'm not hungry, but you're really cool and I want to impress you, so I'm just gonna go with rump. Rump. Love eating rump. Rump. Rump, rump. Rump. No problem. Using one of her... Ah. 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 I don't know how much time I'm going to put into audio mixing, like whether I should emphasize certain sounds in the game or like, you know, sound effects and shit like that, but that was very sleek, squelching noises. Using one of her claws, she skinned the dead mouflon and divided it into various pieces. Do you want yours grilled or raw? Grilled. Unless prepared properly, raw meat carries a significant risk of diseases for us, and it also tastes so super icky. Oh, that is some very good fucking tea. Good fucking tea, fucking good tea. How inept can your species even be? You can't hunt on your own, and you need tools and help at every step. You don't even have claws to cut things up. Oh, I just realised I probably could have made her a mad German scientist. You know, because apparently every scientist who's mad is German, and every German scientist is mad. They're probably not mad, probably just a bit disgruntled, depending on whether or not they have funding. I'm not sure how you could ever survive in the wild. Seriously, what god did you piss off to end up like that? Evolution. I guess after a million years of that, nature decided that we didn't need those abilities anymore. Instead, we got very articulate hands and arms and our upright stance. See, I bet you can't do this. More importantly, I don't think you could do this. Like what? Who builds everything in your society? Who's responsible for the delicate tasks, like assembling electronics, manufacturing, or cooking and bartending? That's mostly us, the runners. We've got proper hands, after all. Now compare your arms to mine. Ours are much longer and have way more mobility. Like, I kind of just illustrated how mobile they can be. Mobile. Especially our fingers. They have an incredible amount of articulation. Like this! The difference between you and me is about as big as the difference between you and another species. Just imagine what we could do with our advantages. Oh, you think you can school me? Sure I can. I'm a qualified fucking teacher. Except you are like 23, I think. So, yeah, I'm not qualified to school you at that level. Maybe if I was a university lecturer, but... Don't get cocky. We've overcome the limitations of individual species with all our technology. Actually, we have technology back home that is far superior to yours. I'd love to see it, though we've already gathered plenty of information on your tech from the databases contained in the BDA. What will you do when we catch up? If you get there, we'll see. She opened her maw wide before a liquid shot from both corners of her mouth, bounced kabow, and onto the ground below the parts of the mouflon she'd prepared. After a few seconds, the liquid burst into flame, heating up our dinner. That's a neat trick. I bet you wish you could do that, huh? That'd be wicked cool. Right, it comes in handy. How does that work anyway? Don't you ever burn your mouth? Not at all. They're actually two different components. They only catch on fire when a sufficient quantity of both is present. Interesting. Is this supposed to be like one of those, look at her sitting seductively? Well then. That happened. The flames weakened and grew smaller until they went out, revealing steamy, appetizing pieces of meat. Help yourself. I grabbed a piece, but dropped it as soon as I felt the heat on my fingertips. Ah! It's still hot! Can't take a little heat, huh? That's too bad. Actually, speaking of which, a couple of weeks ago, I think before I got sick, I tried to pick up a toaster by the slots, because otherwise how do you comfortably, there's no handle on your toaster. And Amber had just used it, and I melted off a part of my fucking thumb. It was awesome. It's really fucking awesome. Unaffected by its temperature, she took a piece into her hand, tore a chunk out of it with her teeth, and started chewing it. I guess your scales are a good insulator. Evidently so. How's it taste? Just wonderful. Stolen goods always taste best. I don't condone this. I can already picture the old farmer reduced to tears after he discovers one of his precious mouflons is gone. Still definitely don't condone this. You're a wild one, Anna. Thanks, I could teach you a thing or two. I think it should be cool enough for your sensitive little fingers now. Carefully, I grabbed one of the pieces, which by now had indeed cooled down enough to not burn me anymore, and took a bite. It was a little bland, I had to admit, but not bad for something that was alive less than an hour ago and prepared in the wild. How do you like your mouflon a la Anna? I could use a few spices. It tastes a little bland. I'm not one to destroy a perfectly good piece of meat with stupid vegetables. Relatable about the vegetables, but you can put some grass on it if you'd like. That is not quite the same thing. How often do you go out and just hunt on your own? Only when necessary or when I feel like it. I still go to fancy restaurants because I can afford it, but they don't mean much to me. For me, it's all about the experience, and one isn't necessarily better than the other. I see your point. That certainly wasn't how I thought the evening would go, but it was pretty fun. Anyways, I'm stuffed. Me too. There's still plenty left over. What are we going to do with it all? We can just leave it here. Hey, maybe the old farmer will help himself to it. How nice of us to leave some for him. Yes, he should pay me for cooking him such a nice meal. We should probably leave before that senile has-been wakes up from his evening nap. Yeah, let's go. I think I definitely prefer the goody-goody two-shoes nature of a dean to Anna's rebellious theft and murder. Well, that was interesting. Wait a minute, I've got something for you. Here you go, your test results, black on white. Thanks, but did you really need to spend all that extra time getting this done today? I just wanted to get it over and done with while I had the chance. Maybe you should start thinking about not working so late on a regular basis. Might you do you some good, Anna? Why do you think so? Oh, I'm just saying, if it usually gets as bad as it did today, that's not a good sign. Like, for me, I mentioned in a stream with Lizzie the other day that I'm fucking terrible with self-care. I forget to feed myself. Sometimes I don't recognize when I'm tired, hungry, or whatever, and I just spend all day working on art or anything like that. And I get to the end of it and I'm all like, well, geez, I feel like death. Oh. That's because it's 6 o'clock. And you haven't done anything healthy. I just didn't pay attention to the time, but I guess that's because I barely go out anyway, and I didn't even think about watching the clock. Okay, point taken. So, what are you going to do? I'll think about it. You know, now that this day's officially over, if I don't work overtime every single day, I could fit you in for your end of the deal. And where are you fitting me in, huh? Huh? Of course you didn't forget about that. I'll let you know the details, or just call me if I forget. Sure. Ooh. Passion, Superstition, Chapter 3. Interesting. And there's Maverick standing at the portal. So if you missed that, the 2 tarot cards, the second one was Superstition, and it was Adine, obviously the superstition probably referring to her interest in, like, tarot and fortune-telling and all that shit. But she was holding blueprints, which I believe probably refer to, like, the map that she wanted. And the one before that was Bryce laying relatively seductively in a bed, which... nice. But at the same time, there was a, like, in the background, it looked as though there was a hook for an IV drip. It could have been anything. It could have been like a hat rack or something. Not that I've seen many people wearing hats in this, but... Well, I think I'm actually gonna wrap this episode up for now, because, like, when I last tried filming before everything went to shit, I actually got about halfway through the well, not halfway through the next segment. I got a good way into the next segment, and shit starts to hit the fucking fan. So, like, I don't know. The episode was bordering on 50 minutes, and even though I can run things through Handbrake to reduce the time, it's like another hour I have to fucking edit, and then I don't know how long it's going to go on for. So, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time, and I will see you later.